This is a Buc-ee's hat, and it can only mean one thing. That's right. I'm back in Texas.
What in the tarnations?
He's outside. Hey.
I heard the Jeep where I'm like, Pepper here? And I tried to look, I'm like, Pepper's here.
So I haven't updated the YouTube channel in a while. I updated my Patreon, I told them what was going on, and then after that I haven't got the chance to vlog. I'm gonna make this mega vlog where I'm gonna kind of just cram everything that's been going on inside of like one video, because I've been kind of vlogging but without context. Stuff would happen, I'd pull out my camera, I'd start recording what's happening, and kind of just forgetting exactly to kind of come back and set up the camera and talk about what it was I was gonna be doing and stuff like that. So I wanted to come on here and explain why I'm in Texas. So I was in Alamosa, and Haley had decided that after quite literally a year about talking about going to Colorado, she was gonna like throw an air mattress in the back of her Jeep Renegade, and we were just gonna travel around. She was gonna follow me around and just have fun. Alamosa is, although it's really cool, I think that she might like Pagosa a little bit better. So I ended up driving to Pagosa Springs same day that she did. Ended up going out to the camping spot by the river where me and Sean went last time. We stayed there for the night. We kind of hiked along the riverside. Haley mentioned that she almost froze to death that night. I told her that she'd probably need a 0-degree sleeping bag. She didn't bring a 0-degree sleeping bag, so I guess it was pretty rough. It also didn't help that she's used to Midland, Texas, which is like super hot, because I actually slept in a summer rated sleeping bag and I was completely fine, but she was not used to the cold. So we ended up driving into town. After talking for a little while, we decided that it'd be better to go to Alamosa. At this point, she was feeling completely sick. She I think she had altitude sickness. She wasn't used to being that high. She started getting dizzy. We bought some boost oxygen, so that was helping her hold off, but at that point, she just was not feeling it. She ended up paying for a hotel once we got to Alamosa, decided that was going to be better for her. I ended up staying at the hotel with her for the first night. On the third night, she decided that she was already done with Colorado. We ended up going to the Great Sand Dunes National Park. We ended up having a little bit of fun with that. We didn't do too much though, and that was pretty much that. She got sick from the altitude sickness. She wasn't used to the cold. I think that if she ever wanted to do Colorado next time, we probably would need to prepare more for actually being in the cold and it being a little bit more of a vacation. I think it's a little different if you're just going for like a week trip and you're already used to it. And I know people could probably come on here and be like, oh, well, she's a girl and she's not used to it. But she literally goes on hunting trips with her dad, so she's not a complete stranger to like being outdoors and doing guy stuff. She can shoot a gun probably much better than I can, probably much better than a bunch of you guys can. So it's not really a matter of that. It's just, there's really, once you really get down to it, most of these people who do overlanding trips, not everybody, but most of these people are still living with some really luxurious stuff. Now she can say firsthand with confidence that my van life lifestyle is not as easy and fun as it seems. Her parents offered to pay for my gas if I would drive home with her. I had been considering going to Midland, Texas to see my brother for his birthday because my family was going to be coming down for Memorial Weekend, and that was the same time that my brother's birthday was. Before I did that though, I was going to try to do DoorDash for a week so I could save up the gas money so I could end up going down. And then afterward, I was going to drive back up with a caravan. Bruce Stevenson is supposed to be taking a trip up to Colorado and I really wanted to go with him. We decided that instead of me waiting a week in Alamosa, I would just drive back to Midland with Haley, stay there for however long, and go from there. I ended up driving back with Haley, and after we made it back to Midland, she went back home, and it was already around midnight. At that rate, I was already just like, I had been thinking for a while, and I decided to make an executive decision to drive back to Longview, Texas. On the way to Longview, I had an unfortunate event where Bonita's brakes completely gave out. I was driving and I was about 120 minutes away from being home, and the brake light came on, my brakes got super soft, I completely lost my brakes. I drove 120 miles home without having any brakes and no casualties. I completely survived, so at the end of the day, I guess it worked out. As I was checking the brakes to see what the situation was though, I found out that I have another situation. If you guys remember when I was in Moab, Utah a few months ago, or I guess many months ago, around the beginning of this trip, I had a little bit of an incident where I kind of drove Bonita off a rock into a ditch head first. For a long time I've known that my frame was bent, but what I didn't realize is that it had a crack running down the middle. I don't think that crack was there before, but under the amount of pressure it's gone through with the amount of off-roading I've done, the overall traveling, and just a bunch of abuse in general, I found out that there's a huge crack in between the front leaf spring and the engine mount. Not a good place to have a crack in the frame. Luckily, here I have Jeff. Jeff is an old friend of mine. He was a fabricator for King of Hammers, and he does some really good work. I'm going to postpone my traveling. I'm low on funds, and the amount of money it would take for gas to get back to the west side or even the east side at this point. I also miss traveling with Kai. That's Kai. Say hi, Kai. When I first started the road trip, I was traveling with him, but it wasn't very easy. When funds got low, I just always assumed I would get a job somewhere. Something that I could do when I was alone, but with Kai, it wasn't going to work. I can't really do DoorDash with him because unlike van lifers who have all this space, I have a very limited amount of space, and it just wasn't working out for Kai. I figured if I was able to get enough support from people, I could focus all of the DoorDash money into saving up for a teardrop trailer, one with air conditioning, that way Kai wouldn't overheat. He's a husky. If I was able to do that, I would be able to travel again with Kai, but I've discovered that I'm not going to be able to rely on other people's support, at least not at this point. So I'm trying to reevaluate. Now that I'm here in a house, I have a lot of access to things that I didn't have before. I have 24/7 Wi-Fi. I can stay up as late as I want. I can be on my computer, and I basically have my own coffee shop because I know how to make pour over coffee. I have the Silver Grizzly coffee here. My dad introduced me to this guy who makes his stuff. It's called Jojo Whoa, I think. And I don't even have to drive to a Starbucks anymore. I just get my own coffee. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. Check out my Baby Yoda. It's amazing. It makes the coffee taste better. So that's pretty much it for now. Bonita needs fixed. She needs frame repair. I've got to reevaluate some things. While I'm here, I might as well get some stuff done. And so that is what we're going to be doing. I have been living in a Jeep for about a year now. It's been kind of on and off. I think I definitely got a good feel as to what it feels like to be doing this for a year. I've got to see the best parts and the worst parts. I've had a lot of experiences that have happened, and I think it was definitely a positive impact on my life. I really enjoyed it for the most part, and I do plan on doing it more in the future, but for now, I'm going to be taking a break, and that is going to be all for this video. What do you think, puppy? Did you like the video? You want to travel with me again? Yeah? Brody dog missed you. The Brody dog missed you. He wanted to see you. Oh, sorry.